Good evening, I'm Jeff Lyons. This is the 14First Alert Weather Show at 9 o'clock here on Monday night, June the 15th. And we are looking ahead to a little more active weather this week. I'll outline all of that for you here in just a couple of minutes. You can comment in by going to the 14 News Facebook page. You know the drill there. And put your comments or concerns in. We'll address those a little later on. Perfect evening out there. We've had clear skies. Temperatures are going to fall back into the 50s again overnight, so some good sleeping weather. Then tomorrow we start with sunshine, but we will have a few scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two in the afternoon. Can't rule out a strong one or two. And then Thursday morning, more rain moving in, and that may come with some thunderstorms as well. Right now we're looking at a level 1 risk across the tri-state, 1 on a scale of 5 or marginal. That means a few of the storms could reach severe limits with damaging winds and hail. We don't think we will have a lot of coverage or even a lot of those kind of storms tomorrow. So we're holding off on an alert day, which would mean disruptive weather and, change your plans and so forth, because it will likely move through very quickly and in a very isolated way. Here we go with tomorrow, and you see by about 4 o'clock or so, a few scattered showers coming through and weakening as they cross the tri-state. And then we're pretty much left with cloudy and muggier air for the tri-state Tuesday night going into Wednesday. Wednesday is a different story, and I'm going to show you a couple of things here with regard to the severe threat. So first off, and we'll get to what's going to happen up north here later, but for the tri-state, I don't expect to see any rain in here until after midnight. And at that stage, we're getting kind of the remnants of whatever blows up in the north. And if you've been following the weather, you know that to the north, there's an enhanced risk, or level 3 of 5 risk for severe weather, maybe an outbreak again of severe thunderstorms and tornadoes there. But here in the tri-state, we're just kind of getting the leftovers and the weakening leftovers at that. One thing that has trended the other way is maybe for some stronger thunderstorms to get going closer to sunrise on Thursday morning. But that trend has just started to emerge in the models. So right now we're still holding off on the alert day because, again, with an overnight thing, it's not going to have much impact on your daily plans on Thursday or on Wednesday. These overnight ones are always kind of tricky to really nail down. The rainfall potential around 3/4 of an inch where we do get the rain. Okay, now the bigger picture showing a significant severe weather event could unfold again late Wednesday afternoon and evening to our north, and it'll move almost in the same manner that the one did last week that produced all the tornadoes. And as it comes across, you saw it happen last week. We got kind of a band of showers that dove toward the tri-state, but just fell apart on the way down here. And we were outlooked last week as well at level 2 and level 1 for the tri-state. Nothing really materialized. So I'm a little snake bit here on these outlooks. And we don't want to needlessly alert and alarm you. So that's kind of where we are right now. Byron and I have talked a lot about this. And we'll make a call tomorrow because by then we will have the next set of updates. We'll have 2 more model runs for him to look at to see if the trend is for stronger thunderstorms moving in or not. So if it sounds like I'm waffling, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to be as transparent as I can. It's just not clear cut. And so we're going to hold off for now on alert days, but there will likely be some showers and thunderstorms early Thursday morning. Right now we have 67 degrees, no wind. The humidity is comfortable. And around the area we have mid-60s now. Look at Henderson, 64, 62 at Dundee, 65 Madisonville. So there are some cooler temperatures to be had out there. Not a lot of wind today. We had a little gust up there at Fairfield earlier, but otherwise it has been pretty pleasant across the board. We were into the mid-50s this morning, and we topped at 78 this afternoon. First day this month, we haven't hit 80 degrees. Those temperatures, by the way, are slightly cooler than normal this morning and a lot cooler than normal this afternoon by about 11 degrees. And of course, we are cooler right now than we were 24 hours ago. So That's kind of the overall picture. There's your calendar with our first 70 degree high for the day, and no rain to add in. We had a little bit of rain yesterday, but very little, 0.04 of an inch. So for the month, we're still behind by about 3/4 of an inch, and our temperature is a couple degrees warmer than the average. All right, on the bigger picture, two things to look at. First, we have that low coming across North Dakota. That's the one that'll swing that cold front through tomorrow afternoon, or trough through tomorrow afternoon. That will kick up some showers. And then way back here, we have the stronger low pressure that's expected to come down and then move through the through the Great Lakes, upper Midwest, during the day on Wednesday. And you get a better sense for how these two systems kind of work together. So we have high pressure now, but that'll move out. There's your line of storms tomorrow afternoon. Notice how it breaks up and is much less defined in our part of the Midwest. To the north, a little stronger, and of course that's right in the middle of that level 1 risk. But down here, just not a lot showing. And that holds all the way through the afternoon and evening. Now when we get to Wednesday, and this is the day that we could see a severe weather outbreak north of here in places like Chicago, Indianapolis, Peoria, maybe South Bend, Fort Wayne. By early afternoon, we get some pre-thunderstorms kicking out ahead of the front, and then a couple of clusters here, maybe of the strong to severe storms, and that will merge, or not merge, but a line will form, and we could start with discrete supercells up there, which would be more favorable for a tornado, and then you see them merging into a line, kind of like it did last week, and move on across. And by the way, last week was classified as a derecho across the Chicagoland area and the northern part of Indiana and Illinois. But down here in the tri-state, here's 9 o'clock, we're dry as a bone, and then overnight, you see that remaining line kind of moving in. Now it's going to be a lot more humid, and that could feed into a heavy rain threat. But of course, we're really more concerned about severe weather, whether we will see any or not. But I think, if you looked at it the same way I did, it's really not clear cut how that's going to actually play out. So we're keeping a very close eye on it, and we'll just kind of see where we stand tomorrow. Our temperatures are going to stay in the middle 80s, more or less, and lows will be in the 60s, except for Thursday morning when we only get down to 74. Very humid air won't cool down as quickly. For Thursday morning into the afternoon, we continue with showers and thunderstorms, with the chance of them across the region. Then we dry out Friday. Saturday looks good. Sunday looks good until late in the afternoon and evening, and then we have more rain moving in. So the end of the weekend, we have another shot at some showers and thunderstorms by the GFS model. And the European's going to show you essentially the same thing. The numbers are going to differ a bit. Our average rainfall, and again, you know how the GFS does here, it gets kind of carried away with rainfall, but it wouldn't surprise me to see an inch or so of rain during the week here from now until Sunday. On the European model, again, Friday or Thursday afternoon, we have some thunderstorms and showers, and then all that moves out. We're dry Friday, dry Saturday. Sunday afternoon into the evening, here comes the rain, just like it did in the GFS model, and moves on out then for Tuesday and Wednesday. And rain potential on the European model, remember the GFS had 4 point something. The European a little more restrained here, around 1/2 inch. Isn't that wild how they can diverge so much? But they do. So the bottom line here is, yes, we will get some rain. Hopefully we will see another inch or so over the course of the week. There may be locally heavier amounts. 57 tonight, a beautiful evening. Tomorrow, sunny to start, but keep in mind we have some thunderstorms possible and showers scattered in the afternoon and evening. They will be really more isolated than scattered, meaning one here and one there, as opposed to, all over the place. And then the 7-day forecast with those rain chances early next week. The temperature outlook stays cooler or near normal through the end of the month, and a little bit wetter than normal too. Our pet pick tonight, a good Catholic dog there. This is Diesel. Posing in front of Mater Dei High School. That, or it's a wildcat in disguise. You never know. Anyway, we appreciate your pep pick there. All right, let's have a look at your questions now. And we have a few of you in there this evening. That's good. All right, I will start here at the top and work my way down. Laura Gray, watching from Dawson Springs, was at Vacation Bible School at church. All right, that's good. Teacher or student? I'm guessing maybe teacher, or maybe you have kids in the Bible thing, Bible school. They still do all the, we are climbing Jacob's ladder, and I will make you fishers of men, all those songs. They're earworms, man. Once you start singing those, you can't get them out of your head, which is a good thing. They're sweet songs, but anyhow. Okay, Cheyenne Hammonds, good evening. Suzanne Daly is watching. Good. I'm not just a talking lamp over here in the corner. Angie Wampler, hello from Vincennes. Well, hello, Angie. Glad to have you in there. Let's see. How did Rendezvous go? You know, that kind of, it came and went, and kind of quietly. I think we had good weather, assuming it was, it usually falls on Memorial Day weekend, doesn't it, or the weekend after? I can't remember. I just know there are a lot of characters in costumes down around the George Rogers Clark Memorial. Does anyone dress as Alice of Old Vincennes? You've got a lot of homework to do here, Angie, so you can comment in if you want. I don't mean to pester. All right, Zach Seitz, good evening. Ricky Brown, good evening. Jeff Miller, today's show seems to be the weather word of the month. It is. We've had a couple, you know. As I mentioned, I think last week here on the stream show, we're kind of in peak season for that to occur, but the qualifications are pretty tight. You know, 400 miles of continuous wind damage. Hopefully it doesn't happen a lot, but it typically will in June and July. Did you see that meteor, Jeff Miller? I'm going to show it here in a minute. The camera that I have that I'm going to show you is, I think it's down on 62, kind of by the country club. But anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. Erlene Schnabel, watching from Merritt Island, Florida, from Evansville, and have a lot of family here. All right, well, we'll look after them for you. Hope Merritt Island is treating you well. Sure, it's a lot warmer and more humid there than it is here. Chloe Hedge, any tornado threat for Tuesday or Wednesday? So Tuesday, you know, you can't rule out a spin up, but we just haven't seen that. You know, in the last several events that are just like the one that I'm showing you, it didn't materialize. So while yes, it is possible, it is not likely. We're talking very low end severe threat here for tomorrow. Wednesday, no, not here. It'll be up north, and yes, better dynamics for tornadoes there, and going into Thursday, but again, north of the tri-state. Laura Gray was, see, I guessed it. I've got the telepathy going here. Was leader of 3- and 4-year-olds at Vacation Bible School. All right. Well, you had your hands full. I can't imagine you have the energy to watch the First Alert streaming show at 9. Of course, maybe you could park the kids, you know, in front of it. It's not quite, you know, Bible-based, but it's something. I got a dog in front of a cross there. That's about the best I can do. So I'm teasing you. Jeff Miller missed the meteor. You're supposed to be watching the sky out there for us, Jeff Miller. All right, well, it's understandable. It was at 10:26 last night. I was actually here inside the station, so I didn't get to see it. And had I been at home, I would have been in bed. So, you know, that aces me out. But Vicki Lynn, has security cameras on her house in Mount Vernon. This one was pointed west. If you look carefully, you can see a water tower there. And if I'm picturing it right, I think that's the water tower. You pass the country club it'd be on the right or the north side of the road. You go up a hill, there's a water tower. There used to be, or might still be, a car dealership. Then you go over and there's the Four Seasons Motel. But anyway, look at that meteor going across the sky. And many of you commented in, I had posted this on my Facebook page, that you know, you were afraid it was a plane going down or something, and that's understandable. It looks weird. But what you're seeing here is just a fireball meteor crashing into the atmosphere and disintegrating. I did not hear of anybody reporting a sonic boom from it. However, I did have somebody commented in that they heard a boom, I think it was in Boonville, and I don't know what that was. Meteors, like the one I just showed you, are the result of space debris that flies toward the Earth from outer space. It can be little pieces of some asteroid or whatever, something that blew up. And when it gets caught in the Earth's gravitational pull, it comes in, and these things tend to move pretty fast, 25 to 60,000 miles per hour, which if you do the math could be up to 45 miles per second. That means you could get from here to Terre Haute in 3 seconds. And that creates a lot of friction, of course, when it hits the atmosphere, which is packed a little more densely with air molecules. And so these things catch on fire and burn up. And usually they burn up completely, which is what a meteor is. A meteorite is where the portions of the whatever came in make it all the way to the ground. And some people have found meteor glass, because it would, if it was like sand, it would turn into glass, or there's a name for the element, I can't think of it. It's like nickel or something. The question also came up, well, why am I a meteorologist? Is this what I do, meteors? Well, yes, I mean, we talk about all things science, but so meteorology is actually, the longer word is hydrometeor, right? Like water meteor. Get it? So the water that falls from the sky is called a hydrometeor. And therefore meteorology is the study of water that falls from the sky, simply, and why it does and all that stuff. So that's why we share the name. However, my knowledge of meteors, asteroids, and space phenomenon is a little bit more limited than my weather knowledge. One kind of cool thing is that depending on what that material is made of, when it comes through the Earth's atmosphere, it will affect the color that you see. Now, last night's, at least from what people told me, it was blue, not red. Red would be nitrogen and oxygen being vaporized. Purple tail would be calcium. Orange tail would be sodium, and then the blue tail would be magnesium. So this is what your astronomers and people who study space are experts at. But anyway, I'll let that run there again in the background. It really is compelling to watch that come in. And we've got cameras everywhere now, so very few things happen that get missed anymore, which I guess is a good thing. All right, I don't see any other questions here. Laura didn't know we had a meteor. Well, you were probably sleeping. Most people were. Well, I don't know. I'm a fuddy-duddy. I go to bed early, but, and I get up early too. But then you're not going to see a meteor. Although, it's a good point. Sometimes meteors do show up in daylight. They have to be early something. We had a couple of those in the Northeast, up around Cleveland and a little farther over, like into New England, within the last couple of months. And the debris trail actually showed up on the weather radar. And that's a good point too. If there's enough material there, it will show up. But a meteor can be caused by, particles as small as a grain of sand up to, maybe the size of my fist. Big ones like the size of a school bus probably won't burn all the way up coming in. I don't know how many bus-sized meteors we have floating around out there. Let's see. And we have that'll be toward the end of the summer, the Perseid meteor shower. Sometimes you have recurrent meteor showers because you have like a asteroid or something that, blew up however long ago, and the particles from it will be seen near, different stars or different constellations like Perseus or the Orionids, which are usually kind of emanate from Orion. So yeah, it's we could do a whole thing on space junk, right? It's not junk, but it's stuff coming through and burning up. So that was the meteor, and that's the 14First Alert Weather Show for 9 o'clock. I will see you, I'm assuming we will get on the news on time. Let's see where we are in this ball game. Well, they're talking. I know they're not in a rain delay. The game's in Cincinnati, and they had great weather over there today too. Why is it they never have a score up when you want them to? It's up all the time otherwise. Well, anyway, that game started at 6. Shirley will be done with the pitch clock and everything, unless it's bizarre in some way, tied or extra innings or so forth. Anyway, we'll try to see you on 14 News at 10. If not, you can catch Byron Douglas bright and early at 4:30, and then of course our stream programs throughout the day. Please stay safe, enjoy the cool weather tonight, and I'll see you on 14 News at 10. Have a good night.